Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to buying your first airbrush. What to look for, where to get it from, where do you start. I'm going to teach you all what you need to know, guys. In tonight's video we're going to go through a load of brushes that you see on the wall. I'll tell you the good points, the bad points, what I've painted with them, so you see some little video clips coming up on the brushes that I painted. You're probably thinking, why do you need all these brushes? Now, all these brushes have got sentimental value to me. Some have been brought for me from a wife and like gifts from people, so I'll always keep these brushes and just add to the collection, because it's like a collection that I just keep on getting and getting and getting. So all the brands that you see on this wall here, we've got H&S, Iwata, Rich Pen, Badger, Segola, Creos, Galleria, Pash, De Vilbris. They're all solid brands and I would recommend every single one of them to you. I really would. We've even got a cheap £20 one, and we've got an eraser one tool at the top, which is like £35. But they all serve their purpose. Now, it all goes on what journey you want to take with your airbrush sort of career. Do you want to specifically paint miniatures? Do you want to go down the custom painting route where you're painting on people's cars, motorbikes, things like that? Do you want to paint cakes? Do you want to paint t-shirts? There's so many applications that you can use these brushes for. They're not just for painting portraits. You can use them for so many things, you really can. As we've got like an air eraser that I can do glass etching with. It's the same principle, single action trigger, you plug an airline to it and you're erasing on glass or mirror, creating pieces of artwork that way. So, absolute beginner, newbie, and you're on a budget, you've got say 70 quid to get set up, and you can get set up airbrushing for 70 quid. You'll be doing it second hand, so you're going to be going down the eBay route or you can be going down the Facebook marketplace route. Me personally, I would jump on the Facebook marketplace because I've seen some absolute bargains on Facebook, but you've got to know what to look for, and this is what I'm going to teach you today in this video, is what to look for, what brands to look for if you're going down the second-hand route. So Facebook marketplace, the ones that I've clocked recently, and I've been speaking to someone on Facebook sales that's just picked up an absolute bargain. There was an Iwata Custom Micron CMC Plus. Now them brushes to date on aircraft.net are £500. There was one on Facebook Marketplace for £200, so it's an absolute steal. And he picked it up. I was thinking of buying it. I seen it and thought, oh, that is an absolute bargain. But the person I spoke to has picked it up and he says, I cannot believe how good the brush is and how good on detail it's getting down. So these sort of bargains are on Facebook, but you've got to know what you're looking for. So a beginner, you really don't. So I'll point you the brands out that I've seen on Facebook. That was one of them. There's a lot of these kicking around on Facebook sales, which are, this is the Iwata HP C Plus on a 0.3. Now, this would be a good brush if you were sort of like past your sort of beginner's stage. A great brush to go for. 0.3, solid chrome body, cup to the top. Good for detail and good for getting thicker paints down. A good solid brush. There's loads of these kicking around on Marketplace. Don't be put off by seeing loads of these kicking around on Marketplace thinking, well, I've seen loads of them, why are they selling them and they're no good. They're brilliant brushes. They really are solid, robust brush. So if you've seen one of these for around, I've seen some for around 110, 120, it's worth it. It is a £200 brush at the end of the day. Solid Iwata. So there's a lot of them kicking around on Facebook Marketplace. There's been a few Infinities. Now that moves over to H&S. If you're seeing any of the H&S range second hand and you're on a budget, some of the old ones, like you can probably see some of the original Ultras, you probably see some of the original Evolution 2-in-1s or Evolution Infinities. There's a lot of Infinities second-hand where the people are overpricing them, around 180, 185. Them brushes are around that brand new, and there's people selling them second-hand on Facebook marketplaces, and it's like, no, just buy yourself a brand new one. But if you see some come up cheap, solid brush, any of the H&S range, if you see them second-hand and you're on a budget, buy them because they're solid. Any of the Iwata ranges, if you see them second-hand, buy them, they're solid brushes. Krios again. Krios brushes, I've seen a PS 270 up for sale boxed for 50 quid. These are £153 new. And there was one of these on Facebook Marketplace for £50. An absolute bargain, guys. A solid brush by Krios. I'll pop some pictures up of the brushes that I've been using. The Krios, I achieved this with it as a portrait, and this was a very detailed portrait. So this is what I mean by this is a solid brush. Coming from sort of an experienced artist, this is the sort of detail that you can achieve with this brush. So a very solid brush by Krios. Other ones to look out for if you're buying new and you go over to, say, Amazon. Amazon's probably your safe bet. You've got eBay as well, where you can buy new from. Galleria have just sort of been releasing brushes. If you're on a budget, we've got the 39, which is the GHAD 39. 2 needle and nozzle setups in this brush. Solid brush by Galleria. I'll pop a video up now. This is what I achieved with the 39. Now this is their budget brush for around 35 quid. I don't think you'll get a better brush on the market for £35, guys, than that. You really won't. I achieved this portrait with it on the channel, so this video is on the channel. It coped with it. I wouldn't say I struggled to paint with this to get that piece of artwork down. For me, it was a little bit sort of harder with the trigger, because I'm used to, if I'm going for something really detailed, I want that more precision in a trigger, but the brush did it. So hats off to Galleria. Their brushes, they're good brushes. 39, you won't go wrong. You've also got the next model up, which is the 98, which is this one. 98? Yeah, 98. The GHAC 98 Jewel is the Ace, Galleria Ace, that one. This one's a new one. I've not done a review on this one yet, guys, but after picking this brush up, taking it out of the box, the build quality on the 98 is a lot better than the 39. So I look at it as, if I can achieve what I just showed you in that video clip with the 39, the 98 will make it easier for me to achieve it, say, the next time round. So another solid one to look out for. And these are cheap as well, guys. These are coming out on some special deals at the minute, nice and cheap. So Galleria is one to look out for. Now, if you want an out and out solid beginner's brush around the £100 mark, you will not go wrong with the Ultra. The new H&S 2024 Ultra, I would say, is the best beginner's brush on the market for 2024. If you're buying new, if you've got the money to buy new and you're an absolute noob, buy the Ultra 2024. You won't go wrong, because it will teach you to airbrush. You've got sleeve settings on the brush. You've got a lot of response in the trigger, and that's what beginners need. You need that response in the trigger. Brilliant brush. There's loads of videos on the channel on the Ultra, so if you are looking at the H&S range, the new H&S range, the Ultra is the way to go starting off. And then you could move up to, we've got the CR Plus Evolution, which is amazing brush. It really is. I've just basically done a little review on this, not done any artwork with it yet, so there's going to be a lot more on the channel coming up with the new Evo. I think it's incredible, I really do. Absolutely love this brush. The triggers on H&S's now are absolutely on point, guys. You won't, I'd say you won't touch an H&S. Any other brush on that shelf now, it'd be hard pushed to touch an H&S on build quality, the finish, the precision on the engineering. They are the best when it comes to the finesse and the build quality and the machining on all the parts. They're just absolutely on point, guys. They really are with their brushes. So they are one to look out for in 2024, brush wise. Iwata, I don't think they've really released anything that's sort of pricked my ears up and thought, oh, I really want to buy that. They've released the Takumi, custom Takumi. Would I buy one? No. The reason why I wouldn't buy a custom Takumi, because I've got the custom CMSB, the original CMSB V2, and to me it's a Takumi with a different cup. It's the same brush, exactly the same front end, not much difference in it at all. They've probably shortened the front end, but I wouldn't pay the price of that. That's around probably £550 for the custom Takumi. Don't need it. I've got that one if I need to pick up a micron. That one there. Segolas are really sort of like, I like the Segolas at the minute. I've got two sent out. We've got the X-Tech 400 side feed and we've got the X-Tech 100. Now, what I like about Segola, brands that know what they're doing when it comes to brushes are brands that make spray guns as well. So you've got Iwata, they make spray guns. H&S specifically make airbrush and have done for years, so they know what they're on about. Segola make spray guns. I've just done a review on a Segola 4600 Extreme spray gun. That was the last video on the channel. So they know how to atomize paint, they know about paint applications. So when they brought brushes out, you just instantly know they're going to work. They just put the paint down out, they just know what they're doing. They've took the sort of theme across from the 4600, the anodized bodies, the similar sort of dials that you'd get on the bigger spray guns. It's just sort of come across to the airbrushes, and that's what I really like about Segola. After picking these brushes up as well, I find the triggers are really silky smooth. I love a silky smooth trigger. Really nice when you're doing fine detail and you've got a soft trigger to move with, because if you have a real tense trigger when you're doing a lot of detail, you can end up with a lot of finger ache, I think, because you're really pulling a tensioned spring back. I think the softer the triggers need to come in on the detail brushes. If you own a Micron, you'll totally understand what I'm on about. Microns are lovely and soft. They have that little bit of feedback, but they're soft. And the Segolas have hit that bang on with the Segolas. Same as the new Evolution CR Plus. The trigger's nice and soft. And the new Infinity that's coming out, guys, in 2024, keep your eyes out for that, because that isn't going to be an absolute game changer, because I've heard a lot of info on that brush and I just cannot wait till it gets released. So there's loads of brushes. As I say, it depends what journey you want to go down, how much you want to spend. They're brands to look for if you go in second hand. I'd pick any of those, I really would. They will all serve you well. And if you're buying new and you've got one that really in mind, 2024 for me, it's H&S. It really is. I'm loving the H&S at the minute. Iwatas I've not really picked up for a while. If I was going to pick an Iwata up, detail, I'd jump straight onto the Micron, or I would jump onto the this one, which is the HPSB Plus. I'd jump onto that because I really like that brush, or the custom Micron. If I wanted to jump onto a side feed, it would be, yeah, it'd probably be that again. or the Micron on the side feed. I really like the Segola side feed, the X-Tech 400, but the only thing that lets the X-Tech 400 down is the side feed's fixed to one side. It's here. And if you're a lefty, that cup's in the way. On the review, I had to tilt the cup back. That's the only thing that lets that brush down. If you're right-handed, you're good. But a lot of companies don't think of left-handed people. It's like SATA don't think of left-handed people with their spray guns. And that's why I'll never pick a SATA spray gun up, because I'm leaning over to adjust the fan. They should be able to have, like the cups, what to think of left and right-handed people. You can put the cup that side, or you can put the cup that side. So it's just that little bit of consideration for lefty and a righty. So yeah, that's the only thing that lets the X-Tech 400 down, is the cup to the opposite side. Other than that, a really nice side feed. If I'm going for a brush that's got no cups, because you can get these, you can get the ones, this is the Rich Pen AB 112A. Yeah, it's the 112A Rich Pen with the little scallop in the top. Lovely brush, really, really light, full view. So if you see any of these knocking around and you want to put minimal bits of paint in, you got full view, lovely brush. They're really nice to work with. And Segola did the X-Tech 100, which is the same thing. It's got the little scallop to the top. Really nice to work with, and a soft trigger on that. Same as a Sotar 2020, exactly the same little reservoir to the top. Brilliant triggers on these. Absolutely brilliant triggers on these, on point. I just don't like this back piece. Everything from the front really nice, but I just don't like the design of the needle at the back, where you have to undo this, because sometimes you undo this and then it loosens the next part, and that pulls away when you go to try and take the needle out. It's just a little bit fiddly. It's getting used to it, but other than that, brilliant brush. So they're ones to look out for, guys, if you are buying new. Any of them brands, Iwata, H&S, Krios, Segola, Rich Pen, Galleria, you won't go wrong. You won't go wrong with any of them. You really won't, whether you're starting out or if you're advanced. Just go into them brands. They work wonders, they really have. And they have over the years for me. I've achieved some great pieces of artwork with the brands. Started out, as I say, with H&S. Love the Infinity, the original Infinity. I absolutely love it. I'd rather pick the Infinity up over the Micron. I really would. I'd pick the Evo up, the new Evolution, over the Micron as well, all day long. Now they've released the 2024 range, I'm just digging what H&S are doing, because they're really opening their eyes and listening to what people want. They take the feedback in, and they are designing these brushes for the public out there that want these changes, and they're just great. So keep your eye out for H&S 2024, guys. Well worth a look. So I hope this has helped you out in some way. There was one more thing I needed to run over, because someone did mention they wanted to ask about the Iwata cups. Now, with the cups on the Iwata, the original cups that fit like low down like that, there was a question about the paint. How does the paint work in these cups? Now, these actual cups, these little ones, if that's picking that up, there you go, these little cups, you take the bottom off like that, and then at the bottom of that cup, you've got the centre hole there, and there's a little hole to the side. The insides of these bodies, they're twin layered. So you put your paint in, and then the paint goes up the little hole inside between the two layers of the wall when it comes up, and then through the side here, up the body, through the side, and then into the brush. So a really, really cool design. They work brilliantly. So it's sort of like a siphon type feel that goes paint in and then goes up the side and then through and into the brush that way. You've got your Takumi one, which is gravity, so they sit above like that. You put your paint in and they come across and into the body that way. You can use the cups, you could use the Takumi cup on that if you wanted to. And you can use the other cup on the Takumi Eclipse like that. I prefer these cups, they're better. I think the design that Iwata did with their cup here, me personally, I hate it, absolutely loathe it. There'll be some comments, I guarantee this has happened to other people because it's happened to me. If you don't locate this cup tight enough into the body, they tend to start moving around and go loose and flop about. Another thing as well is, when you've got this on, for me, if I'm left-handed, that cup would have to be this side, out the way, because it's a big cup in your face. It's like a big cup in your face. I just think it's too much and it does go loose. So I prefer the smaller cups. The other way around it with these, you can take the tops off of these cups on the Takumis, and the small Neo cups will sit on top, so it's a little lower cup. Just makes it a lot easier to paint with. So I think the design on that cup wasn't great for a side feed. It's just a bit too big for me from the side. I have to have it sort of this side out the way, and I can see there. But they work, you just have to locate them in, because it is a heavy cup, and then when you've got paint in it as well, they can wobble around on them. So that's how they work. That sort of answered that question. But a good brushes, you can't go wrong. I can't complain. The Takumi is a nice brush, Takumi Eclipse. It's a nice brush, just don't like the cups. So I hope this has helped you out if you're a beginner, or even if you're advanced and you're looking at a brush. They all work. I hope you can join me in the next one, which will be artwork. Loads of artwork coming up, and we're going to really take the Evolution for a run, the CR Plus New Evolution 2024. I've got loads of artwork coming up on the channel, some really intricate stuff where I'm going to be airbrushing on vinyl. We're going to wrap vinyl up, airbrush onto wrap vinyl, and then we're going to get the wrap vinyl laminated in wrap clear vinyl and then apply it to a vehicle. So we've got some real tricky stuff coming up. Also got loads of stuff coming up in the body shop. We've got a lot of automotive stuff that I've got to do in the new studio. Now I've painted it all up, so everything's going to be bagged off in here. So all the walls will be polythene bagged, and it's going to be sort of the last main spray stuff done in this studio, because I'm not going to be painting sort of like automotive parts in here. We're going to go strictly airbrush, classes, beginners guides, breaking pieces of artwork down for you guys that are beginners, and just get full on the airbrushes. So thanks for watching. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you're liking the content, click that subscribe, press that notification, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers guys.